across those woods, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here, watching his wood fill with snow. My little horse must think it quite queer to stop without a farmhouse near, but in wood and frozen lake, on the darkest night of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there's some mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The wood is beautiful, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and many miles before I sleep, and many miles before I sleep. Bring berries, bring fruit, bring meat if you can afford it. Bring whatever you can grow, whatever you can scrounge. Bring beer or wine, but bring laughter for the evening. If nothing is to welcome, next year it's your turn. We'll have a pagan feast, for we starve for the winter. A pagan feast, for everything dies. As the snow gets deeper every year, the loneliest, loneliest, loneliest time of the year. Bring furs, bring twigs, bring anything that you value. Bring the candles we made, they'll be the only light in the world. We'll be under siege, and some won't make it. Bring fables and stories in which we can believe. We'll have a pagan feast, but we starve for the winter. A pagan feast, for everything dies. As the snow lays longer every year, on the loneliest, loneliest, loneliest time of the year. My love, unbutton those layers. This could be our last chance to be together until the spring. My love, bring you warmth to my winter. Indulge our hunger before we long, long abstain. We'll have a pagan feast before we starve for the winter. A pagan feast for everything dies. As the nights get colder every year, on the loneliest, loneliest, loneliest time of the year. promises made in January become a loaded gun when December comes. Problems that you really should have sorted out remain unresolved. Nothing moved on. Now Christmas adverts appear on the TV shows and your anxiety grows if your head will explode. Each bauble that appears on the Christmas tree fills your heart with dread. The things unsaid. Oh, the stress of having a mistress at Christmas when she's pushing her love to keep his promises. Oh, the stress of having a mistress at Christmas. This used to be fun, now it's a nightmare, and everyone's gonna get shortchanged. Admittedly, it was more fun when you first came round and the sex was loud and you pledged his love. Is it just wanting something belongs to someone else? No, she's sure it's love. Oh, shut your mouth. It's not as if she didn't have other options open. There were other men, sanctimonious friends. She could say she was pregnant to put pressure on him, but that would not be fair. But he's never there. Oh, the stress of being a mistress at Christmas when you know that your lover would rather be with his family. Oh, the stress of being a mistress at Christmas, waiting for the attention you know you deserve, and everyone's gonna get shortchanged. His wife noticed that he's putting back on the weight that he tried hard to lose, amongst other clues. His short temper, he says his problems at work, he's looking stressed and old, doesn't want to make love. But when you've got kids, you've got things to worry about, ever increasing prices, just Christ a crisis. And even though she wonders if it's someone from work or is it someone she knows, better let it go. Oh, the stress of being the one holding the fort when the weakest link's one you relying on. Oh, the stress being wife of a husband on the way to a breakdown. You know there's more, but he's not telling you when everyone's gonna get shortchanged. Christmas is a storm we all have to get through together, one way or the other, one way or the other. On Christmas Eve she is pining on the pressure, crying on the phone, all he wants to do is fuck her. He wiggles twist to go and appease her, but what can he possibly use as a visa? Why you have to go out so late on Christmas Eve? Once can't you put first your family's needs? But he comes home unforgivably early, and then on Christmas rolls in like a tsunami. When he gets up, the kids have opened their presents. He complains he feels under surveillance. His wife ignores him as she stuffs the turkey. He gets drunk and increasingly surly. The in-laws arrives, may as well speak in Russian. The kids running round with the new toys and cousins. Patience is broken by the afternoon. He's feeling excluded from his own home. In-laws throw petrol on the fire as bad taste jokes lead to angry denials. After dinner he is in despair, waiting for them to fall asleep in their chairs. She's phoning again, he's like a volcano, looking for somewhere to whisper into his mobile. What are you doing standing out in the rain? But his wife turns away when he tries to explain. Christmas is a storm we'll have to get through together, one way or the other, one way or the other. Oh, the stress being children at Christmas, when the grown-ups don't think you know what's going on. Oh, the stress being children at Christmas, wondering where the hell this is going to end, and everyone's going to get shortchanged. Vampires must feast, even at Christmas. The craving doesn't stop just for the shortest day of the year. Vampires will take any opportunity. Door unlocked or window open, they'll come into your home. Vampires care nothing what it means to you. When they steal your children's presents, take anything they can sell. Vampires don't care, they have no pity. A conscience expensive things to have when you have it to quell. You take what's stolen to alchemists, change it to poison, put into their veins. 5 minutes, they're normal until pain persists. The cycle starts again. Vampires see the season as one long opportunity. People are drunk and careless, the vampires see it all. Vampires are amongst you, you're drunk at the nightclub. Where's your contactless debit card gone and being used? Security's too stretched, shops and the malls. Noticed a vampire walking out with their jacket full. Customer service unequipped. Managers neither to cope with a vampire getting loud at the front of a busy queue. With no receipt for something, say they're returning. Maybe they've just taken off the shelf, easy to pay them and let them go. The families of nothing, they've given everything, substitute of money, patience and prayers. Romantics are intrigued with the pale and thin. But a vampire will explode till it's beyond repair. Vampires have nothing for all they have taken. Doesn't matter how good it is, they'll sell it for one more fix. Vampires are parasites, but they started off as human. Occasional joint became every night till they needed a stronger mix. So they dipped their toe in the ocean and swept out to sea. First time on heroin came the answer to mysteries. And though they're homeless, hungry and cold, don't underestimate their skill. Get you into their world. While looking for police and associates they've abused, they know your weakness, you're their next. Good morning, my friend, on Christmas Day with cheer, the third most important day for Christians of the year. Sorry it offends, I'll keep my voice sheared. I can see you're suffering from yesterday drinking beer. Here's a bucket, you don't look well at all. I'll make myself useful while you learn to crawl. Fuck it, you cry as you crash down the hall. What goes up must come down, this is the bottom of the fall. Oh God, oh Jesus, a Christian would be pleased that you acknowledge into the toilet the foundations of the day's seeds. If it pleases, I'll leave you to suffer in peace and return this afternoon when the sun has finished his lease. "What's that? God please help me," as the Saviour would have said on the second most important day before he rose from the dead. "End this suffering dealt me," you implore. Here's water, here's aspirin, as many times before. Speaking of dying, your mother doesn't care if you're a corpse, as long as you present yourself at dinner with flowers, of course. I know it's trying, but these duties are almost law. The third most important day of the year has its flaws. Have you forgiven that grudge that you held for a year or two, when you appeared too drunk for dinner and fell asleep on the sofa in the loo? Forbidden from trying to wake you, an idea grew. She told you when you woke that you'd eaten for years you never knew. But then we're flexible about our memories. I'm sure you'd rather not recall the less incredible time at the church when your wedding stalled. Your bride and family waited as you were ill against the wall. You should draw pride that you made the church after that pub crawl. So I'll return when the day is 2/3 over and transport you safely to your mother. Don't burn that the time has been stolen. It was for the build-up, no different today from any other. On Christmas Day, I stood upon the hill, in merciless desert heat, saw thousands of starving children, their mothers desperate and weak. I couldn't separate the dead from the dying, in this biblical famine scene, but it's my job to pry in. Witness the human obscene, the aid doctor is in despair. That this could happen again in our world of technical flair, but some things never change. On Christmas Day, we duck as the jets scream, diving down over us onto the city, now a vast prison under siege. Are they Christian Shiite or Sinai, cowering those broken tower blocks as the smoke plumes rise in a corner of the world where humanity stops? But our escort is all smiles, an officer explaining confident that the righteous will succeed. My translator tries to catch nuances, I try to protect my leads. On Christmas Day, we're running with the mob after a man held by the police when the crowd comes to a stop. We realize something is unleashed. We watch the man screaming with the burning tie around his neck. We are caught reeling. With the boundary we've overstepped, but we don't try and withdraw. The crowd plays up to us. Later I justify the images we've clawed, but at night my soul is crushed. On Christmas Day, at a checkpoint near nowhere, I show my press pass, and the guard gets out of his chair. He puts a gun to my head and says, "If I kill you, who cares?" It's a revelation burst, that I won't see my kids again, that my ambitions are nothing worse. The people I think of, my friends, my fellow adrenaline junkies, will print the government's version of my death. I'm just a line in their autobiographies, just one competition less. On Christmas Day, I stand on the banks of a river, in a place I'm not supposed to be. Bodies clog the water like timber. The government is claiming victory. The women's bodies are broken and naked. The men and children burnt and mutilated. I get an angry text from my state escort, demanding to see me before I file my report. Here's what happens when us and them becomes cancer. To cut a baby's throat, what do you need? You tap into the power's carefully designed anger. Simply surrender and believe. Christmas Day morning, the kids with their grandparents opening their presents while we get rare time alone together until lunchtime with the Pope with my father, and then dinner with her parents. Then in the evening we're sobering up on the sofa, wondering which invite to accept and which to make our pardons. I hope tomorrow is spent in front of the TV. May you live. Interesting times goes the Chinese curse, and I've exploited it to its worst. It's my job. But tonight I don't have to bribe an official for things I take for granted at home. Tonight I don't have to worry if a piece has been slanted by editors and owners with agendas of their own. In a land when I will starve to death tonight by parasite or mosquito bite. The spiders, policemen and earthquakes are benign, and the health service is free and malign. Tonight of all nights, I count my blessings amongst family and friends in these civilized settings, and try not to worry where. Frightened people I've spoken to have finished, but still a bit of luck.